So here is Jill, our hero, getting us started with all of our planning and the early meetings. And as you know, we did some small programs. The first on, here's our early planning team. Look at us. Here's our lodge namesake, Colleen Fieldian, and we did a program on her in May. So, and then we jumped right to our institution in September. Actually, I'm gonna go back there. So this was a pre-gathering that we did at Ingebrigtsen's, and that was a fun time to connect with a lot of people who'd come in from out of town, as well as our own group. Connect with them. That's kind of a blurry picture on the right, but that's Jill with Julie Ingebrigtsen in front of the store there. Oh. And of course, our first lodge president, Karen Lipke, signing her name on the charter, which we have as a dear memento for us, documentation of our day. Of course, lots of setting up and preparation. We had a silent auction and lots of amazing food, as we always do. And here's our wonderful escort team. I think that there are some of them on, if I saw correctly. Sharon, I see is on. So thanks for coming today and being with us back then. Can't tell for sure if others are on. There's a lot of faces, so that was a fun day so long ago. And we had, you remember Gary Gandrud from the consulate was there. Was the honorary consulate that came and spoke for our institution. And then, of course, Charlotte and Claudia did a great display about Colleen and had this wonderful printed off things. I think Claire had helped with some of these as well, printed off, and had information about our namesake and the work that she had done. I love this picture of Patty and Linda. I see Linda on there. It's such a great photo. Whoop. Sorry, I went the wrong way. Oh. The wonderful smiling faces. I think this is just so fun. I don't know if Kathy Jo is on or not. It's fun to see her, Van Heidi, and their artists. And Joanna. Joanna looks so young. Gosh, isn't she in college now, or maybe even done with college?
She might be done.
Yes. Our dear Claudia. So wonderful she was part of that day. Charlotte, are you on? I was looking at these pictures of your kids. Charlotte and I emailed the other day, and like Eva's old enough to join now, so such a different place.
Yep. Nils enjoyed the food.
Yes. Here's our first team of officers, which it was a lot of work and a lot of fun to get us started. So that was our first group. Yes, Kelly's not in this picture, but this is our first group of folks. And Jill joined us for several meetings after that, visiting her mom here in Minneapolis. So that was a lot of fun. Have her with us a few times after the institution. And then, of course, going into 2011, sharing our heritage programs. I love this. I have a few of these, what I call class photos in here, so you can see how we've grown. And we have been truly blessed. I was looking through this with several wonderful member programs. So of course, Rosemary shared with us about her books. Patty, I think, gets the gold star for the most number of programs that she has gifted to our lodge. I think there was at least 3, if not 4, maybe 5. So you'll see a few of those. And then this is one I had to remember Linda and Marilyn, who I see is on too, when they did Art in Bloom on behalf of our lodge. This, for those of you who don't know, if you're not local, is a annual thing at the Minneapolis Institute of Art where talented folks interpret works of art through floral arrangements. And Linda did one of the one on the left that was done by Pauline's brother, Paul. And then she and Marilyn together did an interpretation of a rose mulled kind of kitchen cupboard hutch together, and was really, really lovely. And of course, 2011, the King and Queen came, and a number of us got to go and have a table. That was really fun. And then in October, we celebrated the 150th birthday. It was actually in May, but by the time we had realized that that was coming, we just needed a little more time. So we did it in October. And we, we did a little play that I wrote, and Claudia is so gracious to review and hash out with me. And it was basically a monologue-based play of Pauline Fieldy's life. And Joanna Howden, myself, and Linda Ray played Pauline at different ages, and we read these little monologues. And it was a really fun way to honor her life. And the gentleman in these pictures, his name is Brian, and he was actually one that had connected us with a woman, or a copy of a biography that a gal had written about her that we use as the basis for a lot of that performance. And his name's Brian. He had also connected us with her old home that was torn down, but the legacy of that, which I'll talk a little bit about later. So this was a really fun event. And of course, our Drama Corps going strong, and Marilyn, so many kudos to her for all the wonderful events we sang at over the years. More of the party. Charlotte, I had to get this picture of your dad in there. I just love this photo. Such a sweet picture. And the Claudia and Charlotte and their family gifted us up in the upper right there with bobbins that had belonged to Pauline. And they were a wonderful memento of her life, an actual item she owned that they gifted us with at that event. We even had, for those of you who weren't there, or for those of you from out of town, we actually had a proclamation. So in the bottom left is a Minneapolis councilwoman who helped get a proclamation to declare Pauline Fieldy Day. And we had the mayor signed off on it. And so she came, and I believe she read that and then celebrated with us as well. Some programming from 2012. Of course, here's Patty, the Norwegian Lutheran program, and some other pictures from 2012. On our first Sit Into My travel trip, this was to Milan, Minnesota, which for those of you not from here is west of the Twin Cities Metro. And we marched in the parade, and I think we brought a lot of joy to the town that day. We showed up in a big bus, and people just loved it. It was pretty fun. We rented a bus and marched and just had a really great time.
And remember our trip home?
There
was a great big thunderstorm.
Oh, right. Yes. Oh, yes, the joy. Ruth, I love this picture. And Kimberly and Melody, this is one of my favorite pictures of the three of you. So I had to get that in there. And then, the next was the 2012 convention. So this was out in Washington. We had a delegation go. And then, of course, what they brought home was a commitment to the 2014 convention. So, and we, of course, co-hosted that with the gals in Iowa, the Core Lodge. So. In the fall of 2012, I mentioned this, that Brian had connected us with Pauline's house that had been on Park Avenue near Midtown Global Market. It no longer exists, but it was an important place that she started much of her career, launched a lot of her career. And there's an effort through the Lake Street Council, the Museum in the Streets program, and they invited us, along with Julie Ingebrigtsens, to come unveil this particular set of plaques. And it was really fun to be part of that. And so you can see our group there. We went. It was a lovely day. The mayor of Minneapolis was involved and it was fun. And then for the big plaque, which has kind of the overall map and the individual markers that show, that highlight the individuals and or different buildings and things. 2013, more programming, another wonderful member program. Lorraine taught us about Kransekaka making. This was the year John Peterson first came and talked to us about Norway House. For those of you, I mean, it's hard to believe, one, that he's no longer with us, but two, that it was 2013 that they were doing all of that work initially to launch and get the support for Norway House, and now it's such a wonderful part of our community. More programming in 2013 at the Nobel Peace Prize Forum, folks, which is no longer happening. So it's glad we had a chance to hear about then. Here's our class photo from our Norwegian sweater photo. I want to notice, I guess, from this one and the last one, you'll our broken links from over the years. Glenda, Kelsey and Kristen's mom, and Rika, and Claudia, of course, and Judy Linder, who oh yeah, she's in the middle there. We miss them dearly. Our Norway Day, huge thanks to Claire. I'm not sure if she's on today or not, but she always partnered with us in her tent and allowed us to table on behalf of Daughters of Norway in her wonderful tent with all of her lovely artwork. And of course, we always sang. I don't know if you all remember this Daughters of Norway, when they had made sort of a funny comment about us ladies and Daughters of Norway and Sons of Norway. And I reminded them that we were in Minnesota for a long time, and that was to not give us a hard time. That was
didn't they, Emily, didn't they call us rebels from the Sons of Norway?
Yes, that's right. And it's like, we were there before. We were rebels. We were there before.
Emily stepped up to the mic and got it straightened out.
Yes. So that was fun. This was a picture we took that year of our 100% Norwegians, or at least folks who could identify all their grandparents and such, or some folks even from Norway. We are actually quite a large group, which was fun to have all together. 2014, if you remember, we took a field trip, since we don't have a regular meeting in January, went to see the Church Basement Ladies play, which was, of course, lots of good Norwegian Scandinavian humor. More programming from 2014. Okay, I just have to remember, and Patty, I hope you don't laugh too much about this one, but if you all remember, Patty made a particular proposal to the gentleman photo. Walter, he was presenting about tip carving, which I absolutely love. And he was 96, right? I think at the time. And he was still doing this work. And Patty asked him if he was an eligible bachelor. And he took it. He was a great guy. I don't blame you for asking, Patty. He was just a wonderful, wonderful presenter and super, super talented. I don't know how many of you ended up with some of his work, but he was just incredibly talented. We have a Christmas ornament that goes up every year. And then Christensen, Pastor Christensen, who's back in Norway now, but she was a member of our lodge. She was the pastor at Minnesota. And we had, I believe this was the April meeting. We couldn't use our regular meeting location, so she gave us a program there, and we toured Minnesota and learned about the origins and everything. And on the left is draping the charter for Claudia. Oop, this must be one of my slides that got kind of funny. A little bit more programming from 2014. Linda gave a great presentation that she had done for convention, some poster boards, and shared that work with us. Another good sit into my parade. The sunny year. I have photos from another year where we got poured on, or well, at least pretty well drizzled upon. This was a beautiful day. Oops. Of course, a discussion about, 2014 wouldn't be complete without convention, which was here in the Twin Cities in Minneapolis down at Mall of America. This was our delegate group. Is Carlin on? Can I tell if she's so many pages?
I am.
Okay, I love this picture. You were represented us very well in the flag parade, and it was so nice to have our banners again. The Bunad show, lots of our members participated. Rosemary was the hostess, that's not quite the right word, MC, I guess, and did a wonderful job with that and organizing all of that. A lot of work, but it was really great. A lot of us were involved. I think Ruth stole the show. Heidi and some of our other members who are dual members, my mom, Christy down the bottom there, were of course in the Bunad show.
I think Rosemary was the organizer, but Jill did a lot of the MC.
Oh, you're right. Yes,
Yeah.
that's right. They were both on stage for much of it, but not most of it. And of course, our class photo from that. I have to thank my husband for these aerial photos. I was looking back through and I was like, who took these? And I realized that was my husband walked around. And of course, there was the field trip to Vesterheim, and I have to apologize. Somehow I only end up with a couple photos of this. But we took that fun trip down, the bus trip down, and got to explore the museum and that area, which many of us had not seen before. Some more fun things. Convention. Dorothy Ann Honeychurch, I think my mom said she was going to try to get on the meeting here today. I don't know if she was able to join, but she's a dual member of our lodge as well. Of course, that fall was the Fargo Lodge Institution, and our group was asked to help with the escort team for that. So we drove to Fargo and joined them for that. 2015 programming. There we go. I don't know why some of these are going so quickly. Sorry about that. And then this 2016 is when we had started meeting at Norway House. The Norwegian sweater photo. The advantage of that, of course, is we were right there when they had Gingerbread Wonderland, so we got to go upstairs for that for a program one day. 2017. It's funny, I don't know if Kelsey or Kristen are on, but to see Ruby so young, I have a couple pictures of Pax in here too, but to see them so young is fun. Then this is my brother on the right. He presented to us about his year at a folk school in Halsnoy, which is south of Bergen. That spring was the Sioux Falls Institution. A number of our sisters went over for that as well. And I believe a number of you are members, or some of you are members, as well as same with the Fargo Lodge. Here's our rainy sit in my. still lots of fun. By this time, we had had the vinyl banner made, which was very smart to not carry, especially for days like that. We didn't have to carry it in the rain. 2018. How many of you remember singing and dancing with Ethan? That was a lot of fun. And now he's quite involved. He led the Sit Into My stuff. If you participated in that in May, virtual stuff, which was fun. And then our other May, our Sit Into My field trip to Woodville, Wisconsin, where we also marched in the parade. 2019. I love our St. Patrick's Day Viking. Another Patty program. That was so fun, all those dolls. And then, yeah, Christmas Wish program, Beulah board. Of course, last year we had our first summer picnic, which was really fun to do. We just had a virtual one. Hopefully we'll be back together in person next summer. Gingerbread Wonderland, a number of our members, led by Pam, made wonderful the gingerbread down on the bottom right, and gotten the best award, or the award for best international display, which I think it definitely was. And our final class picture, well, sort of, I guess I will show you the next one. Oops. 2020, I wanted to remind you, we did have one regular program this year. It's not all virtual. Fortunately, we had that fun program on the Runestone, and hopefully we'll go get to see his play next year.